So to make sure that we're still covering newer comics, I kind of want to sit down and cover Detective Comics' Shadow of the Bat, the Tower storyline. Now, this was a 12-part story that came out more than just a couple years ago, but still freshly new in the world of DC Comics. But when it comes to this storyline, it was technically used as a way to bring in a new kind of Arkham Asylum. And the reason why, because at the very beginning of Infinite Frontier, we saw Arkham Asylum get blown up. And so the worst kinds of criminals were released back into Gotham City. Now, of course, the Bat family and some other heroes as well was able to stop those criminals. But the problem was next is that there was no prison for them. And so how in the world are you going to be able to contain these different kinds of criminals? And that led into a new kind of Arkham Asylum, better known as Arkham Tower. And so getting into today's storyline, we do pick up at Arkham Tower. Now, when we do, we pick up day 7 after the tower was opened up to the public. And we do pick up with Dr. Ware. Now, when it comes to Dr. Ware, he's the person in charge of Arkham Tower. Now, his main goal is not just to, help out the patients, but he wants to help out Gotham completely, because he realized that mental health is really low in Gotham City. Again, not just with the criminals, but also the regular day folks as well. And so his goal is to fix the mental health issue in Gotham. Now, while he is speaking, he's also being interviewed by Deb Donovan. Really, he's on a live press conference where you have different reporters being able to ask different questions, but you do have one reporter, better known as Deb Donovan, begin to ask a few questions. And the reason why, because she has been unable to actually get a list of the different kinds of medical companies who are helping out Dr. Ware to pull off all these different kinds of medical miracles that he is trying to pull off. Now, when it comes to Dr. Ware, he says, "I'm sorry that you are unable to find that list. I will make sure to give that list over to you." But that right there is our first look at how shady this brand new Arkham Tower truly is, because you are talking about the idea of fixing the mental health of Gotham, and apparently you have different companies helping you, but that list of companies is not open to the public. But you didn't have Dr. Ware change the entire conversation over to one of his miracles. And what I mean by that is he brings in one of his patients, and that would be Nero 19, who actually appeared in the previous story arc trying to kill off the mayor of Gotham City around this time. And that would be Nakano or Nakano. Either way, when it came to the mayor, he was saved by the Bat family. And of course, they were able to stop Nero 19 from killing the mayor. Now, he was brought over in Arkham Tower, but apparently in a short period of time, his mental health has improved a lot. And now he realized that when he was trying to kill off the mayor, that was a huge mistake. And so this is Dr. Ware trying to use this patient as an example to say, look, even though I may seem like a shady person, you cannot tell me what I did right here with this guy right here is not legit proof that I am able to achieve something great, not just for him, but also achieve great things for other patients down the road. Now, we are introduced to another doctor who's going to play somewhat of an important role at Arkham Tower, and that would be Dr. Moranian. Now, when it comes to Dr. Moranian, we are told that she was highly recommended to work at this facility to help Dr. Ware fix the mental problems of all the different patients in Arkham Tower, but to also begin the ability to help out other people across Gotham City. Now, her appearance in the first chapter is short and quick, but we have to remember that she'll be somewhat important for the overall storyline. We then shift our focus back over to Deb Donovan, a reporter from Gotham Gazette. Now, when it comes to Deb, she's meeting up with Batwoman. And the reason why, because they're both trying to figure out what is really going on when it comes to Arkham Tower. Now, when it comes to Dev, she tells us right off the bat that she is not able to find any kind of proof of a medical license for Dr. Ware. And that is really concerning because you are talking about the idea of somebody currently working in the medical field without a medical license. And that is a huge no-no. Now, when it comes to Batwoman, she says, listen, I realize that pills are beginning to show up even more in Gotham City across the board. And the problem is, though, you have different gangs trying to push these pills out into the streets. But again, the question is right now, where are the pills coming from? Now, when it comes to Batwoman, she says one particular group is getting bigger and bigger and causing more problems for Gotham City, and that would be the party crashers. Now, we do pick up with one of the patients of Arkham Tower. As a matter of fact, she's at the arts and crafts level in Arkham Tower, and this would be Anna. Now, we have no idea who Anna is, but the way the story is showing her off right now, you can tell that she is going to be really important for the overall story. But then we jump forward in time, and we do pick up at day 24. Now, when we do, we pick up with Arkham Tower going completely dark. And what I mean by that is the prisoners have taken over the complete facility from the top to the very bottom, and that is very huge. Now, we do pick up with Oracle trying to call in to Nightwing and also Huntress as well, because apparently they have snuck into Arkham Tower. Now, we have no idea how, but the thing is, they're inside. But the problem is, no one has heard from them in a good period of time. Now, we do pick up with the mayor, and when it comes to the mayor, he's freaking out as well, because again, he wants answers. He wants to know what in the world is happening right now at the tower, and where is Dr. Ware? And that is when we come to find out where is Dr. Ware, because as soon as we jump back over to the tower, Dr. Ware is thrown out the top floor of the tower down to the very bottom, and he's dead. And so that tells the mayor, the police, the Bat family that Dr. Ware has lost control of the entire facility. The entire facility is now being run by the prisoners. And it seems like the one in charge is Anna, the one we saw just a moment ago. Now, that is the moment you do have Oracle finally being able to get a hold of Nightwing, except when she does, Nightwing can't really give her any kind of information that she needs to know what in the world is currently happening inside Arkham Tower. But here's the next question though. Where is Huntress? Because she also snuck in, but unfortunately, Nightwing has no idea where she went to, and that is a huge problem. And then we jump over to Huntress, and it looks like she is seriously injured and bleeding out. And so now we're left to wonder, can the Bat family get to her in time? But then we jump into the second chapter. Now, as we do, it kind of gives us the ability to learn the early days of Dr. Ware, to kind of figure out why in the world was he so dedicated to help out people who may have mental problems. And so we jump back many years ago, where we do pick up with a young Dr. Ware, better known as back then, Tobias Ware. Now, when it comes to young Ware, we kind of find out that his mother had a lot of episodes. And what I mean by that is sometimes she will be very violent and begin to attack other people around her. Now, her most recent episode did harm somebody. Now, we're not told if she killed that person, but we are told that Tobias is no longer able to stay with his mother, and his mom being kept behind at some kind of facility to hopefully get the help that she needs. Then we have to pick up on day 12. Now, guys, remember, the different days that we're getting into, they take place after Arkham Tower was completed and open for business to begin the process of helping patients who may have mental problems. Now, with that being said, we do pick up on day 12, which takes place before day 24. And we already know on day 24, that is when everything goes downhill. But we do pick up with Dr. Ware in the middle of an interview. Now, the person that he is currently interviewing is Dr. Fro. Now, in reality, it's really more Batwoman just in disguise. She's pretending to be a doctor that just came here to learn more about this brand new facility and all the new things they're trying to achieve. Now, of course, you do have Dr. Ware begin the process of trying to show off all the different things. Now, something else I do want to mention is that, again, this is day 12, and so it takes place after the earlier parts of the first chapter. And remember, Batwoman did meet up with Deborah, who was trying to figure out if Dr. Ware has a medical license, the right to be in the medical field. And the thing was, she could not find any proof he had one. And so while you have Batwoman currently in his office, she does not see any kind of license to say he has the right to work in the medical field. Again, a huge red flag. But also his story as well is a huge red flag where he had worked at. But getting back over to the tour, you do have Dr. Ware begin to show Batwoman around the actual facility. Now, right off the bat, his main goal here is to show all the different things he was able to do very quickly, that he is able to get some high results when it comes to different patients who had arrived at Arkham Tower. Now, one of the patients he tries to show off is Mr. Freeze. Now, when it comes to Mr. Freeze, he's up there when it comes to all the different kinds of crazy Gotham criminals in the city. And so if you are able to take Mr. Freeze and begin the process of actually helping him and making him a better person, then possibly you can help other people like the Riddler or Penguin, not the Joker, because that man is completely insane. But again, the reason why he's trying to show off Mr. Freeze is to show that he was able to achieve something instantly. 12 days the tower has been active, and he already helped out a A-list criminal. Now, he does show off some other criminals, but those right there are not really important. But while you have Dr. Ware showing Batwoman around, they do get confronted by Anna. Now remember, we saw her in the first chapter, and at first, we were left to believe that she's going to be another patient that would be able to achieve greatness at this facility, to be healed. But as we saw in day 24, that was not the case. She went crazy again and killed off Dr. Ware, and her and the other criminals took over the entire facility. But we don't know much about her yet. And so when it comes to Anna, she is confronted by Dr. Ware and Batwoman. Now, right off the bat, we are told that Batwoman knows her, but we have no idea how. All we know is that she found Anna covered in cuts, but also blood over her body. And the question is, why? But either way, she was brought here to get help. And at this moment, it looks like she's getting help and she's getting better. But we already know down the road, it's going to fail. Now, before you do have Batwoman leave the actual facility, she does ask Dr. Ware one more question, like, hey, why are you doing this for? Like, what drives you to actually help people who may have mental problems? Now, we already know why. Because of his mother. Because again, his mom had too many episodes where she would hurt people or try to kill people. Now, we were told earlier that she was locked away until they were actually able to help her. But again, we have no idea if she's still locked up or she is possibly dead. But when it comes to Dr. Ware, he tells Batwoman, that is the reason why I'm so driven to help out people who may have mental problems, because of my mother. But that is the moment where you do have Dr. Moranian confront Dr. Ware. Now, when she does, she tells us she has a lot of concerns, but her main concern has to do with the medicine they're giving the patients. And the reason why, because all the patients are beginning to smell some kind of odor. The problem is, though, only the patients can, not the workers, which means that it's probably a side effect from the medicine. If that's the case, they need to have a better look at the medicine before they are able to continue on giving it to patients. Now you do have Batwoman meet up with Oracle and also Nightwing at Oracle's new base around this time. Now, when you do have all three characters meet up, they begin to talk about the idea of what's really happening inside Arkham Tower. Because the Batwoman, they're not pulling off miracles. They're doing something else in there. But the question is, what? Now, when it comes to Nightwing, he is concerned about Huntress, who is apparently inside Arkham Tower. But the problem is, though, nobody had heard from her in a good while. But on top of that, when it came to Batwoman, when she was walking around the facility, she didn't see Huntress. And the question is right now, is Huntress okay? But then we have to jump back to the past once again. And the reason why? To pick up with Tobias Ware. And we kind of find out that after his mom was, taken away from him, he was supposed to go to possibly foster care temporarily until they were able to find out who can take care of him. Except he ran away. He ran over to a friend's house. Now his friend and him sits down and talk about his mother. This is not a young boy who truly cares about his mom. This is a young boy who's very upset with his mom to the point where he's kind of like, forget her. I hate her and I hate people like her. And so at first, we were left to believe it was a young boy who watched his mom get taken away, and that what drove him to want to help people like her who may have mental problems. But instead, it's a man who's saying, no, I want to get rid of people who may have mental problems. Now, when we jump into the third chapter, well, that is the moment where we do pick up with Anna having one of her therapy sessions with Dr. Moranian. Now, when it comes to this session, she is talking about a particular movie or a TV show that was very violent, which could have been the reason why she did what she did. Now, this is giving us a glimpse into the character to kind of learn what she actually did to get committed to Arkham Tower. And we do see a lot of dead bodies, which tells us that she was a killer. Now, the second chapter did kind of tell us that by the way she looked when Batwoman found her. But again, though, we get more confirmation that yes, she was some kind of killer. And because of that, she may had a mental episode that led to her get committed to Arkham Tower. Now, the session took place on day 14, so 2 days after the second chapter, but like we saw in the very first chapter, we already know by day 24, everything falls apart. But the question is how? How does everything fall apart? And it's Anna the reason why everything falls apart. But at the end of her session, we do see her being walked back to her room by a particular person. Now, at first, we have no idea who this guy is, but we're going to learn who he is, and he might play a very vital role in the idea of the downfall of Arkham Tower. But the day continues on with Batwoman arriving at her first day of work. Because remember, she's pretending to be another doctor as a way to gather information about Arkham Tower, but still to find Huntress. Because no one has heard from her. Everyone is worried about her. Now, when it comes to Batwoman, she does run into Dr. Moranian. Now, when it comes to Dr. Moranian, she kind of tells Batwoman the idea that she kind of has some concerns when it comes to Arkham Tower. Now, at first, she does express her concerns, but then tries to hide it because She does not want to show that she feels like Arkham Tower is going to fail, or Arkham Tower is too good to be true. Either way though, when it comes to Dr. Moranian, it seems like she's very worried about the medication they're giving to the patients. Either way, when it comes to Batwoman, who's again currently pretending to be a doctor, she continues on with her day. Now, this is a great moment for us as the readers to get a better look of what is happening here at Arkham Tower. And the reason why, because as you have Batwoman continue on with her workday, she is confronted by one of the many villains that she helped put away, and that would be Siphon. Now, Siphon is not one of those big time Batman villains. Matter of fact, I'll say he's kind of like a D-list, even lower list villain. The thing was though, she has a flashback about a time that her and Batman had worked together to lock him away. The problem is though, he was completely insane when it came to Batman and her working together and trying to stop him. She saw how insane he was, but in here, he is a completely different person. It seems like he is very sane, but kind of concerning. And so she's wondering what in the world is currently going on. Now that is the moment where she does see somebody again walking Anna back to her room. The same person we saw earlier. And we kind of find out that his name is Mark Barbier. Either way, when it comes to Mark, he does look like a sketchy person who should not be walking patients back to their rooms. And so there could be some concerns there. And so you have Batwoman step in to take over for him. Now, once she does ask Anna, do you know who that guy is? And she says no. And the question is right now is all like, so then why is he always trying to walk you back to your room? What is he doing to you when you are heavily medicated? But then we pick up with Dr. Ware. Now, when we do, we currently see him in a meeting right now with a party crasher. Now, remember, the party crashers are a gang that's becoming more of a problem in Gotham. Day by day, they're getting bigger and bigger and stronger. But we saw in the first chapter that Batwoman told us that drugs are now being sold on the streets at an even higher rate. And most of the drug sellers are coming from the party crashers crew. And so we kind of find out here the drugs must be coming from Dr. Ware. Now, the reason why the two guys are having a meeting is because Dr. Ware got another complaint about Mark. And that tells us Mark, the guy we saw earlier, is part of the party crashers gang. And with that complaint coming in, it makes things harder for Dr. Ware to continue on, because we kind of find out he's trying to get funding from the mayor. But the only way he is able to get that funding if the mayor approves of what Arkham Tower is doing. We also kind of find out that Dr. Moranian is actually a spy for the mayor. And so she's going back to report to him and telling him different things about Arkham Tower, which means that if all the reports are bad, then Dr. Ware cannot get the funding he needs to go on the next process. But if all the reports are good, then he'll get the funding and then be able to move on with the next step of his plan. And so he's telling this party crasher leader, you need to get your man Mark in line before he ruins everything for us. But we do see Batwoman breaking back into Arkham Tower at night, and the reason why? To check up on Huntress, because no one has heard from her in a good while, and we kind of find out that she went undercover as a patient. Now that's a problem right there, and the reason why, because that means she has been given the same medication that other patients have been given, which means that she could be under Arkham Tower's control. That is a huge problem. Now, when it comes to Huntress, she does not want to leave. Batwoman wants her to leave because it's not safe for her to stay there. But she says, no, we have to see this through. Really, it seems like she's happy there. And that right there is a huge concern. But before they are able to continue to argue, we kind of find out that somehow Batwoman must have triggered a silent alarm, or Huntress had set the alarm off to get her out of there. And so unfortunately, Huntress gets left behind in Arkham Tower and Batwoman has to leave. But then we jump back over to Anna. Now remember, Anna told Batwoman earlier she did not know who Mark was, except we see Mark currently in her room. And it seems like at first these two guys are buddy-buddy, are really more of, secretly making love to one another in the middle of the night. Either way, something snaps in Anna's mind. And when she does snap, she turns around to Mark and wants to kill him. She begins to attack him, but no one comes to rescue him. And all the patients, including Huntress, can hear this man scream for his life. Now, when we jump into the 4th chapter, that is when we pick up with a flashback where it takes place in the middle of no man land. That was a big, huge Batman storyline back in the early 2000s. Either way though, when it came to that storyline, well, there was a moment where Huntress was surrounded by 2 different kinds of gangs. Now, one of the gangs, of course, being the Joker, so that was a really bad situation. But the point of the flashback is Nightwing talking to us about the idea that the reason why Batman and Huntress don't get along is because they're very similar to one another. And for that one reason right there, they may never get along, but they will respect one another in their own kinds of ways. Now, we also get reminded about the idea that Nightwing used to be in love with Huntress. Yes, you heard that right. Like, besides Batgirl, besides Starfire, there was Huntress for a good period of time of DC Comics. And matter of fact, I want to say multiple times where we were left to believe of the possibility of these 2 characters falling in love. And matter of fact, in this story right here, and I have not been saying the entire time, that you have Nightwing kind of talking in a way where it shows that he still has feelings for her. But he doesn't stop there, because you have Nightwing also tell us about the powers of Huntress. Guys, when it comes to Huntress, she's able to see visions of other people killing someone, or she's able to look through their own eyes as they're committing the murder. And so in the last chapter at the very end, when Anna was killing off Mark, she was able to look through the eyes of Anna and watch Anna just murder the man in her own room. Now, let's not forget that this is only like day 14. We have not reached day 24, which means that day 14 was the beginning of the downfall of Arkham Tower. It all started with Anna. But shifting our focus back onto Huntress, well, this is where we kind of realize or learn, that why she went into Arkham Tower. It was not to gather intel to help the Bat family bring down Arkham Tower. No, she wanted help. And the reason why, because Nightwing tells us the visions were getting worse. Left and right, she was able to see different crimes being committed across Gotham by crazy, insane people left and right. And so because of that, she got tired. It was kind of like torturing her day in and day out. And so when she heard that at Arkham Tower, people were going inside, getting better, that's what she wanted. She wanted to get better. She wanted to get rid of those visions. She got tired of seeing the same things happening over and over and over again. She did not go into Arkham Tower to get intel. She went in there to get help. But then we had to shift over to Dr. Ware. And the reason why, because Dr. Ware is freaking out. You are talking about the idea of one of your patients killing someone. And you have been going around saying, hey guys, we're Arkham Tower. We're amazing. We're beautiful. Like everything we do here is almost perfect because you're trying to get that funding. And now one of your patients has just killed off technically one of your workers, even though he was a party crasher. He was only there to kind of help get the medicine over to the party crasher crew. But the thing is, he still died in your facility. And so that right there is a problem. If the mayor finds out, there goes your funding. And so we see Ware talking to someone, but again, we have no idea who he is talking to. But then we jump into day 15. Now, when it comes to day 15, we pick up with Dick Grayson going into Arkham Tower. He's going to pretend to be a worker there like Batwoman did. The only difference is that when it comes to his badge, he has more access to all the different floors of Arkham Tower. Thanks to Oracle, she was able to copy Batwoman's badge and give Dick a more improved badge to use to access all the floors in Arkham Tower, to hopefully see him be able to gather more intel for the Bat family. Now, here's the thing, because while he is walking around, you have Dick Grayson find blood. Now, when it came to Anna killing Mark, there were no reports about that incident because Dr. Ware is trying to hide that. If word gets out of someone died at Arkham Tower, there goes his funding. He's trying to hide that. And so the Bat family has no idea what happened the previous night. We also kind of find out that Mr. Freeze is somewhat helping the Bat family gather intel on this place. It's a very brief exchange of words, but we can kind of tell they are working together. Now, when it comes to Dick, he overhears two party crashers who are also pretending to work at Arkham Tower get very worried about Mark, which shows to us that even them don't know what happened to their friend, that Mark has been killed off by Anna. And so that is very important as well. And the reason why, because they head over to Dr. Ware's office. And when they do arrive, they pull a gun out and begin to ask him, hey, where is Mark? We know he worked here last night. Now we know where Mark is at. His body is currently being hidden right now because the idea of his death getting out there could possibly ruin Dr. Ware's chance to get funding for Arkham Tower. And so you have Dr. Ware begin to lie to these guys like, hey man, listen, I don't know where Mark is at. Like, he's not here. Now, luckily for Dr. Ware, the two guys, they completely changed their minds when it comes to torturing Dr. Ware to get the information that they are looking for. And the reason why I am saying that, because you have the two guys just turn around and walk out the office. And they said, sorry for bothering you. And you're kind of wondering what just happened. Well, we kind of find out that Psycho Pirate is also there in Arkham Tower. He's somehow helping Dr. Ware control the entire facility. Now remember, when it comes to Psycho Pirate, he has the ability to control people's feelings, to kind of make them feel a certain way. And so right now, it seems like all the patients are most likely feeling a certain way because of because of Psycho Pirate. And this changes everything when it comes to this storyline. But this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.